I tried to do that quieter for Renee. I'd like to call the August 15th meeting of the West Des Moines City Council to order and invite you all to stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, please sign in.
We have 4 members present, Your Honor.
Okay, Ryan, have there been any changes to the agenda?
There is one change, removal of item 4H, honorary roadway naming at the request of the applicant.
Okay, with that, can I get somebody to move approval of the agenda as amended?
So moved. Second.
Okay, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 2, Citizens Forum. Now is the time for anybody in the audience who would like to address the council on any item that is not either part of public hearings or new business. Please step up to the podium. Give us your name and address for the record, please. And I'd also ask that you keep things civil and respectful to everybody in the chamber and limit your remarks to 5 minutes.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello.
My name is Rochelle Long. I live at 106 11th Street, West Des Moines. But I'm standing today to represent Taste of the Junction as the president and founder of Taste of the Junction. So I have 2 things. First, I just want to say thank you to the city. Thank you to the mayor, Tom in his absence, the council, the staff, everyone for being a sponsor for the Taste of the Junction Multicultural Festival that's coming up Labor Day weekend, September 2nd and 3rd. And I think you have a schedule that Audrey may have sent out, but I want to read this letter officially to the city and staff. Dear City of West Des Moines, City Manager, Mayor, Council, and staff, thank you so very much for your support and contributions to the Taste of the Junction this year. It has been an extreme joy to work directly with your Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director, Ms. Audrey Kinnis. Her compassion, impeccable skills, and mindfulness has contributed to what we expect to be a successful, fabulous, fun-filled, history-making weekend. Thank you very much, Audrey. And we can never thank the city enough for all the support you've shown us, not only this year, but for all of the multicultural festivals. It doesn't seem like it, but we're embarking on the 10th annual festival. And Ryan, you've helped me so much every single year to make sure I get all of the necessary paper and documents in, so I just really appreciate it. The city of West Des Moines is always welcome at our table, and we're glad to have you as a platinum sponsor this year. It means a lot. We look forward to growing this relationship and partnership in the years to come. Thank you again for your generous support, and we hope to see you at the Taste of the Junction Labor Day Weekend Festival events. And if I could just say, I just attended an Iowa Arts Summit, and one of the presenters shared an example of what they call the Alaskan blanket toss. Mm-hmm. And it's just where every member of the community grabs a piece of the blanket, and what's ever going on in the middle, everybody tosses it up. So I just want to thank the city of West Des Moines for holding on to your piece of the blanket and helping to toss the Taste of the Junction up. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
I want to
Rochelle.
leave with and then Ryan, if I can leave you with the letter that I read and some flyers for the council. Can I give that to you? Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you so much. Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you, Rochelle, for your remarks. I know that your parents would be extremely proud of the 10th anniversary of this celebration. And I know that they'll be looking down this festival that you have put your heart into. that really is a testament to the city and the culture and the richness of all diversity here. So thank you for your organization for keeping history alive in the Junction. And so I know that the Long family and your mom and dad would be very proud. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I would just echo that and say I cannot believe it's 10 years.
I know, right?
That just seems crazy to me, because I remember the first one and, working to get it up and running and all that stuff. And I feel like Reich Fleckis was helping with that.
Very
and,
instrumental, yeah.
Man, 10 years. Time goes by fast. So
It does.
thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the audience who would like to address the council? Come on up.
Good evening, everybody. It's so great to see these beautiful people in front of me. My name is Catherine Harrington. I am the president and CEO of the West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce, and I'm at 3917 Cody Circle in West Des Moines. And I would like to invite everybody to attend our DEI Workplace Excellence Awards on September 1, and we will be announcing tomorrow. But I'd like to say today that we are honoring Renee Hardman with one of our awards. So we have a third-party judging committee. I'm not involved, although I would definitely vote for you. But Renee is getting our Government Leader Award in the DEI space, which is outstanding. And Audrey Kennis is receiving our DEI Leader Award as well. So congratulations. So this is a community that voted. We have judges from all around the region. So this was selected by other leaders, your peer group. You have done outstanding work, and we are a better city because of it. The work that you both do, the entire city, it's just amazing. Taste of the Junction, you have to go. You cannot miss that amazing event. It's going to be outstanding. So I'm just so proud to live in this city, and I just love all of you. So thank you. DEI Workplace Excellence Award, September 1. So thank you. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Catherine. Anybody else who would like to address the council for Citizens Forum before I go online? Okay, seeing nobody in the chamber, anybody online that would like to address the council, please hit *6 to unmute yourself. Give us your name and address for the record. Okay, hearing nobody, we'll move on. But I do want to say I'm very proud as well of our colleague here, Renee, for everything that she's done and that she's brought to this council, the charge that she's led on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and moving the needle on things and making sure that we're constantly aware of things as we move forward, implicit bias and, the makeup of our workforce and the opportunities that exist or do not exist in front of us. And, it really has made a difference having Renee here to constantly push and question and make us aware of various things. And, Audrey as well, an unbelievable hire and has made a huge difference already. And I'm just really excited as to what we have lying in our future. And as we work to become more diverse and inclusive of everybody, to make sure that everybody has a chance to succeed and thrive in this city. So very proud of these two, and really not only of these two, but of the entire council, of our city staff for everything that they've been doing to work to move the needle as well. So thank you to everybody for all your efforts, and congratulations again to Renee and Audrey. That's amazing. I look forward to that on September 1st. So, moving on from Citizens Forum, we'll move to item 3, Mayor, Council, Manager Report, Other Entities Update. And we will start this time with Councilman Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few items. Number one, last week we had a Finance Administration Subcommittee meeting, I guess 2 weeks ago. And, when I walked in, I noticed I guess I didn't notice that before, but the Valley Junction, the historic Valley Junction, like here are the things we're doing, like the rental acquisition program, the property improvement fund, it's all advertised. So we just discussed a couple of odds and ends about the rental acquisition program. Then we passed, we discussed a budget amendment. During the previous fiscal year, so much stuff was delayed because of supply issues and whatnot. So that's been transferred to this budgetary year. So we talked about that, Councilman Lotes and I, and it was a solid meeting. I had the opportunity to be at the public safety meeting also 2 weeks ago, and we had a discussion about fireworks. I don't know if you all have heard complaints about fireworks. It's always a tremendous challenge, and certainly Chief Lou, Chief Scott, and the rest of our first responders, we had a really, really solid discussion about fireworks and whatnot, and it's going to be a continual discussion, but something probably needs to be done about fireworks going forward. I'm not going to speak about what that is right now because it's an ongoing discussion, but either way, we might see some proposed changes in the future. Now, how those are actually going to unfold, we'll have to see about that because there's obviously a couple of options, and of course, Chief Lou and Chief Scott can speak far more intelligently about those options than I ever could. But we discussed that, and I wanted to share one more thing. I'm looking in the audience tonight. It's great to see so many people. Not a lot of teenagers come to these city council meetings. And I start school on Thursday, so I'm going to be back in the classroom teaching 16 and 17-year-olds. And I wanted to do this 2 years ago, but then the pandemic happened, and so we had to put a stop to it. But, we think about the young people in our community, and there's 4 high schools that have a substantial portion of West Des Moines residents, and they are West Des Moines Valley, Walnut Creek, Dowling Catholic High School, and Waukee High School. Half of the kids who go to Waukee are West Des Moines residents. And so I'm going to begin working on setting up some quarterly meetings to hear from young voices in our community about what can be improved. And our first meeting is probably going to be on Sunday, October 16th. I will share more as it continues to unfold, but this is a process. Our young people, I teach AP US history, so I teach some pretty smart kids. And after the year, I always tell them, hey, you're going to do some really cool stuff in some other cities, but come back to West Des Moines. We would love to have you come back here and make our community better. So that's going to be a big part. So I just want to make that quick announcement because it's coming.
I love it. I love that. We need to get the input from young people. I think that's a great thing. I've thought about that myself, so I look forward to that, Greg.
We might even invite you, Russ.
Well, then it's going to be old person's council. I think it's a great thing you're doing, and I appreciate Public Safety Subcommittee taking a look at the fireworks issue. We need to look at that. I think the complaints that we've gotten have been a lot less than we've had in years past, but nonetheless, we've got people that are not happy about it, and we need to try to figure something out. I know they're looking at that all across the metro to figure out how we do this. We've got a little bit of conundrum with the fact that you can sell them. You can't say that you can't sell them in the city. That's legal to sell them. It's legal to possess them. It's just not legal to light them off. And so it's really difficult for enforcement purposes. But I really appreciate you guys taking this on and continuing to have that conversation. So, okay. Councilwoman Hardman.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, everyone. I want to first of all indicate that thank you so much, Catherine, for the work that you're doing with the chamber. I was at the Clive Chamber meeting, and boy, they've got some exciting things going on. I think we've already celebrated that they were number 2 or number 3 finalists for Best Chamber of the Nation. So, but we're saying we're number 1 regardless of what the trophy is, right? And the exciting things that they're doing and how they're pushing the needle. I want to say congratulations to Audrey for the upcoming Diversity Award that she's going to receive as a leader here in this community, and certainly humbled Catherine for the award that I'll get representing government. So it is a team sport, though. You cannot get anything done without the support of others. So I do appreciate my fellow council members, and I certainly appreciate the mayor. The mayor and I have had probably of anyone on this council, probably the most deepest conversations around race and around diversity and around issues. And so So I applaud you for that, Russ. I feel like when we can have really tough conversations around those issues, but come to an understanding and have respect even through disagreement. So I appreciate the growth that our relationship has had through very, very meaningful conversations around race and diversity and equity and inclusion.
I value that very much. Thank you.
So we learned from each other. And I want to say that I had a meeting with Clyde and some development folks last week. It was very, very fruitful. It was with Clyde and Brad. Can't really talk about what's all happening, but it's exciting. Some new development that could occur near the Recplex and DMU that I think be game changer for our city. So happy to have gotten a preview of what might be coming there. So have a West Des Moines Library trustee meeting tomorrow and continue to try to represent the city as I can with regard to constituent work and calls and conversations. So really appreciate everyone being here tonight and love this city and happy to represent it. It's an honor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Trevilian.
Nothing this time, Your Honor.
Okay, Councilman Loetz.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Okay, now we're going to come back to Deputy City Manager Letzring. Okay. All right, with that, we'll move on to item 4. Consent agenda are there any items on the consent agenda that any council person would like to pull and have voted on separately? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as distributed.
Move approval.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, please vote.
4 yes.
Okay, item 5, old business. We've got one item, item 5A, ordinance amendment, amend Title IX zoning to modify regulations pertaining to residential care to allow in the regional commercial zoning district, Greater Des Moines supportive housing. We've got an ordinance for approval the second reading, waiver the third, and adoption in final form. There are no outstanding issues, and there's no change from the previous reading.
Motion considered second reading?
Okay.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Four yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019, Title IX zoning, Chapter 6, Commercial Office Industrial District, and Chapter 15, Off-Street Parking and Loading pertaining to SIC 836, Residential Care in the Regional Commercial District.
Approve the second reading?
Second.
Okay,
Second.
okay, please vote. And I would just mention that we've got Emily Osweiler here for this item in the audience. Thank you for being here.
4 yes.
Motion to waive the third reading and adopt in final form?
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay. Item 6, public hearings. Item 6A, this is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider Parkhaven northeast corner of Fuller Road and South 33rd Street, amend the PUD to remove restrictions within Parcel C initiated by John Wheeler. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
July 29th, 2022, in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comment to this hearing?
The Plan and Zoning Commission, by a vote of 6 yes, 1 was absent, adopted a resolution recommending approval of the PUD amendment, and there was also 1 citizen correspondence received, which is on the dais this evening.
Okay. All right. Anybody from the audience who would like to address the council on item 6A, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. We will acknowledge the item that we have on the podium here, communication. And it is a letter of support for the amendment. So,
Motion to consider the first reading?
well, hold on one second, because we got to make sure nobody online, and then we'll go there.
Cool.
Okay, nobody in the audience going online, *6 to unmute yourself. Anybody like to address the council on item 6A? Okay, hearing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed, and I will go to Councilman Hudson.
Motion to consider the first reading?
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'd also just mention this came through Development and Planning unanimously on August 1st, and with that, please vote.
4 yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019, and ordinance number 919 pertaining to plan unit development district regulations and guidelines.
Motion to approve the first reading?
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, please vote.
4 yes.
Okay, item 6B, this is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider amendment number 1 to the Valgate Urban Renewal Area initiative by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, just please read the date and notice was published.
August 5th, 2022, in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comment to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience would like to address the council on item 6B, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Okay, seeing and hearing no one, I'll go online. Anybody online, please hit *6, give us your name and address for the record. Okay, hearing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. We got a resolution for approval of the Urban Renewal Plan Amendment, and this did come through Finance Administration on May 18th with unanimous recommendation. Can I get a motion to approve the resolution?
Approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 6C, this is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider Valley View Aquatic Center toddler slide and 3-meter diving platform initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice was published?
July 29th, 2022, in the Des Moines Register.
And have you received any written comment to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody from the audience would like to address the council on item 6C, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online that would like to address the council, you can hit *6 to unmute yourself and give us your name and address as well. Okay. Not seeing anyone, not hearing anybody. I will declare the public hearing closed. We've got 2 resolutions and a motion, which we can take at the same time. There are no outstanding issues. This came through F&A on both March 9th and August 8th and was approved unanimously.
Motion to approve?
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 7, new business. Item 7A, Linville Hy-Vee, Fast and Fresh, 300 Grand Avenue, approved final plat to create 1 lot for commercial development, Hy-Vee, Inc. We've got a resolution for approval and release of the final plat. There are no outstanding issues. Development and planning, this came through development and planning unanimously on December 20th. And I would just mention also that as part of the resolution, we are approving, we're also approving the streetscape and utility easement with this. Can I get a motion to approve?
approval.
Okay, is there a
Second.
second? Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 7B, South Branch Business Park, 4210 Southeast Army Post Road, approve final plat to create 2 lots for development and 1 outlot for private drive. SBBP JV 21 LLC, we've got a resolution for approval and release of the final plat. There are no outstanding issues, and this came through development and planning with unanimous recommendation on October 18th of 2021.
Move
So
approval.
move.
Okay, we've got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 7C, Grace Creek Senior Apartments, 8710 Ashworth Road, approved site plan to allow construction of a senior apartment building with 34 dwelling units. Tim Morrow, Curly Top LLC, doing business as CT Development. We've got approval of the site plan. There are no outstanding issues. This came through both Development and Planning and P&Z unanimously. And there are 3 conditions of approval as listed in the pinky instead of 5 because we've received 2 of the things that we were requesting. Can I get a motion to approve the site plan?
So move.
Okay,
Second.
any discussion?
Just a couple of things about this. If you look at the agenda, Grace Creek Senior Apartments, 34 dwelling units. I think it's important to know that this can make a real difference for the 34, well, probably more than 34 people who are living there. And I think it's always great to have an opportunity to to make a difference in that way, especially for seniors in our community. Furthermore, I want to really thank Tim, because I know he worked hard to get state appropriations for this as well. And so anytime we're bringing state money into our community, hey, it's got to go somewhere. So I would argue here is good. And so I want to thank Tim for that. I also want to thank the neighbors of this area. I've talked with many of them, and they've been really, really helpful to really assuage concerns. And if there were any, some people didn't have any. But anyway, I really appreciate the neighborhood being a part of this. I really appreciate staff member and neighbor Dave Sadler, because I know he has been very involved with this. So just wanted to give a kudos to a lot of different folks for making this happen.
Sounds good. Be a good project. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 7D, ordinance approval of traffic code amendments through street stops required, South 100th Street, Boonville Road to Stagecoach Drive. We've got an ordinance for approval, the first reading. This came through the Public Services Council Subcommittee unanimously on August 8th. Can I get a motion to consider the first reading?
Motion to consider the first
Second.
reading.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Four yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019 by amending provisions pertaining to the traffic code related to official traffic controls.
Motion to approve the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 7E, ordinance approval of the traffic code amendments, four-way stop intersections, South Grand Prairie Parkway and Mill Civic Parkway. We've got an ordinance for approval of the first reading. This also came through the Public Services Council Subcommittee unanimously on their August 8th meeting. Can I get a motion to consider the first reading?
Motion to consider.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Four yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2019 by amending provisions pertaining to the traffic code relating to official traffic controls.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the first reading?
Motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, please vote.
Four yes.
Okay, item 8, receive, file, and/or refer. We do not have any items. Item 9, other business. Do we have any other items that any council would like to bring up at this time?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead, Councilman.
Two things.
Yep.
Jamie, I've been receiving calls on a fairly regular basis and emails regarding the conduit project. People are asking, when is it going to start? So I knew I could have handled this through an email, but I thought since a lot of people watch this online, maybe in person would have been better to get a report of when these different areas are going to be coming online and some of the status, maybe this question for Brian Hemeseth, status of the work that's being done, because it's still not up to par with the restoration work and the way the contractors are operating. So I don't know which one of you wants to take it first, but it's kind of a two-part.
Well, Brian walks up here. Are there specific network sections or neighborhoods that you're receiving calls on? I mean, the project's, been going on for quite some time. In different areas are
It's
turned
different. I
on.
mean, I'm getting from the,
Okay.
4th and Vine area to
Okay.
the 22nd and Ashworth area.
Okay.
I know my area, 34th, isn't
I can pull
scheduled
up
to
the
go yet,
network.
but it's getting close, is
I
what
can
my
pull up the
understanding.
network
So
map, but if you want to answer the other question.
Brian Hemeseth, city engineer. So there's 3 large areas that are getting turned over within this week. Section, I can't remember the numbers, Ben knows them right off the top of his head, but it's essentially 50th to 39th, and then Ashworth down to EP True. That section is getting turned over. Now, I know for a fact, I walk through that area all the time. There are areas that need to be, that need restoration work done on them. It's been done, but it's not taking. So what and I just read an email before this council meeting that says, Communication Data Link is the name of the company that's doing that work. They've got a plan. They're going to go through all their network sections in the next 2 days, map everything that needs to be done, and their subcontractors are supposed to be done by the end of the month. And if they're not done by the end of the month, CDL themselves are going to come in, do the work, and then back charge their subcontractors. So those network sections are the ones that are nearing the end. I would say all the other ones, they're either done or they're underway, so the restoration still can't be done quite yet. They try to do it as they go. We're right in the seeding window right now at the very beginning of it, so this is something we're going to be really watching closely. As far as turning things over and people getting done, I would say the best thing is for any constituents that are asking about that, is have them call our hotline number, and we will help them with their, because it's hard, if you don't know the individual address, they could be right on a line.
Okay, what is that hotline number, since there are people that you know?
Jamie, help me out here.
Brian, what's your personal number? Maybe that would be better.
Yeah, there
No,
you
I'm
go.
kidding.
Okay, I've got that. I've got a cell phone.
It's a hard no, Councilman.
I've got it on speed dial.
I know you do.
I'll look at Brian's
I know you all
email for
do.
everybody and phone number.
I will say, I mean, you know, we harped and harped and harped on this before we got into this project, and really, we've been to over half of the addresses so far. So given the fact that we've been to over half of the addresses so far, the complaints that we're getting are relatively low. But we knew that there would be an issue with, because there always seems to be with these kind of projects, with the restoration, you know, and it's just, when it's your lawn and you take such pride in it, you know, even though it is the right of way, it's just mind numbing when, you know, you've got a perfect lawn and it's not the way that you want it to look. So we knew this was going to be an issue. But I will say, I appreciate all that you have been doing, Brian, and your staff and Jamie, because anytime I've had one of these, and, you know, I'm always supposed to send them to the hotline, but it's hard to do.
No, and it's fine. If
You've taken care of it and, you know, looked into it, and, you know, sometimes it isn't, you know, it's not taking, or it wasn't a very good restoration job, and we really need to make good on that.
So no matter how we receive these, they all go into the same tracking spreadsheet so that we
Right.
can turn around and go to the contractor and make sure things are followed up. So if it comes in on the hotline, if it comes in from any one of you, we handle it the exact same way. So
Okay.
if,
Yeah.
and if Jamie, I believe,
Yep,
has
I
that
have
number?
that. The construction question hotline is 515-222-3578. And just to be clear, Mayor,
Say it one more time,
222-3578.
Perfect.
Now, is this just for the conduit project, or is this any construction?
No, this is just for the conduit
Okay.
project.
And Mayor, you had mentioned that they've been to over half of the addresses. I'd say that our construction crews maybe have progressed that much throughout the city, but that doesn't necessarily mean that over half of the residents have access yet. I mean, Google Fiber is still pulling their own fiber, and MediaCom as
Right.
well. Other providers are still, you know, pulling. They need several weeks to do their portion of the work once
Right.
our piece is done. So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to
good
confuse folks.
clarification. No, I meant our conduit network, because we've gotten that to over half of the addresses, and we still have essentially half the addresses to do. I would say with that, and to Kevin's point, I mean, the communication going forward with the rest of the addresses that need to be done are going to be even more crucial than ever before, because the number of things that people have in the right-of-way that they should not, between dog fences, irrigation systems, we're going to get some angry people. It shouldn't be there. It's there. So the better we are with communications for the rest of this city, the better we're going to be. But I appreciate you guys handling all this stuff, so.
Now, is this the same number they can find out when they're going to be getting fiber, or at least when it's been turned over to the providers?
That they can find.
Yeah.
Yes, that we'll be able to answer that question there as well.
The latter, yes. The former is not, we're not able to say when people would have access to a new provider, just because we don't know their timeframes, but we certainly know when we'll be turning it over, so that
Okay.
piece we can share.
Okay.
And I can send an email with Kelly's most recent, I'll just summarize those segments and kind of where we're at, because we've turned over quite a few pieces recently that the providers are working on pulling their own fiber in. But again, that process for them takes several weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that number is answered between 8 and 5.
Or leave a
Monday through-
message.
And Brian's cell phone is 24 hours a day.
Well, and my understanding is if we stay on track, everything should be done by the end of '23. People should be able to.
Our
start-
portion, I
Our
just want to
portion, yes,
specify.
our portion.
Our
again.
portion, September of '23. That's,
Okay.
barring any major weather events or
Sure.
issues with supply chain.
It doesn't
Dual
necessarily
pandemics.
mean that at that time frame, folks will have access to a
Monkeypox.
different provider. Just, again, it's important. Because people watch these, it's important to clarify.
Yeah, because I know there's several areas that, mine, for example, the conduit's been in for a long time, and we've heard nothing. So, yeah, if we,
Yeah. I think.
we have some information to give to the residents.
I learned that the different providers that are utilizing the system, it can take someone, I think they can only maybe do an average of 4 per day, depending on, how the install goes. So,
Right.
takes some time.
But this was supposed to be a very long-term project. And I think, I've also heard from folks like, we don't even have a conduit in my neighborhood. I don't know if Renee, you mentioned you have it in yours. Doug, do you have it in your neighborhood yet? You do? I don't, the mayor? You don't? So, certainly we're all affected. I think there's a lot of folks who are excited about this conduit. But it seems to be, even if it seems to be going slower, the goals that we had when we created it are being fulfilled. We have several internet providers. I did get a complaint the other day that said, hey, why is it not here yet? Because my current provider will not upgrade our service. And I'm guessing they really, really want to switch over. But you know what? That's just.
Possibly. And we made sure that Mayor Trimble's area was going to be dead last, so that
That is true.
No special treatment. Last.
No respect.
His neighbors will be happy to hear that.
I'm the Rodney Dangerfield of this dais. Okay.
As I listen to the discussion, I think it might warrant that maybe possibly, once a month or something is really put on the website or on the Facebook page, maybe
Fair.
with an update. So, if there are these kinds of questions and people are so interested, they're really kind of hopefully looking at opportunities that the city could provide, maybe a monthly update on what's status. So that's what I would recommend
We'll work
that
with Lucinda to
our
put
folks do.
Sure.
We do have an incredible construction website that Brian and others helped launch years ago, and I don't know, maybe that could just be added to that.
Yeah, we have, that's already done. It's just a matter of maybe getting the word out so people know that they can go there
you
to
do
do
something in
that.
the newsletter or,
Yep.
Okay, okay.
yeah, sure.
All right, sounds good.
Oh, Brian, while we're on the
Anything else?
topic,
Okay.
just one last thing. I'm looking at the map on the wired WDM. The colors they don't match. Maybe I've got some color issues, and I can't tell which one's the red, which one's the purple, but it seems a little off.
I will take a look.
Maybe it's just me. Hold on, wait, let me take. No, that's still bad. I need to. That says more about me because
Look at
I'm
it
not
and
seeing
see
it correctly. But if
maybe we
it's,
can get some more contrasting colors on there, make it more.
All right,
Yeah.
we're getting out of control.
thank you so much,
here.
Brian.
All right.
I've got one more
Maybe
question, and
go
this
ahead,
one's from
Kevin.
Sally Ortiz. Come on up. You're the next contestant. As she's walking up, I got some complaints this weekend regarding Holiday Park baseball and the fact that some of the diamonds, baseball diamonds, access to the baseball diamonds are locked and not open for the residents to just use the park as they used to. And I guess that was my understanding that I know we've got, I'm not sure what Sam Burnaby's company is that's doing the maintenance and stuff of those greens. And I know that we lease them out for USSSA baseball, but I thought that when they weren't using them, the diamonds were accessible for people to use. So can you clarify that?
Sure. I'm Sally Ortiz, Director of Parks and Recreation. It could be a case where the fields had just been prepped for games, and I do know that, when they do that, they do sometimes lock them because another just drop-in team could come on and just ruin all of the preparation that they had just done for games. So it could be that sort of a situation.
Okay.
Yeah. And
But wouldn't they be, I mean, I'm assuming that they're prepping them ahead of tournaments, or, I mean.
well, it could be tournaments, it could be games that go on there every day. There are games that we've contracted with Sportsplex West to provide as far as our recreation leagues and competitive leagues.
Okay.
So those are going on every day of the week down there. We have
Okay.
rentals that take place. So it could be any number of things that that Iowa Cubs have been preparing for. And, all it takes is for someone to get on there and then their work is just done.
Okay.
And they've got to come back. So I don't think that, and I think this has been the way it's been for years since we took over, that, although we would love to just let anyone and everyone onto the fields, there's a lot of expense and time that goes into getting them ready. So
All right.
it's not ideal, but it's kind of what we're left with.
Kevin and
Thank
I
you.
wanted to go out there and do home run derby, but apparently that's not going to happen.
Now, my ankle.
Sally, are there any fields that we could have, like just a designated, I know they're different size fields, so if we've got a young kid that wants to go in there with his dad versus an older child, is there any field we could try to keep open more often so that the public can use it?
We don't have any other fields that have all of the outfield fencing and,
Okay.
that are all set up for that. The closest to that would be Crossroads Park. It has a skinned infield.
Okay.
Legion Park has a skinned infield. Otherwise, in neighborhood parks, we do just have the backstops.
Okay. And I know we did spend quite a bit of money restoring these fields, and I have gotten a ton of compliments. I remember when Kevin and I were first voting to do that, it was like, whoa, this is, what was it, $5 to $7 million or something, but
Big check.
I have had, I don't know how many compliments from people that have come in here with tournaments and whatnot that said these are like the premier fields in the metro area, so
Yep.
they are
We're
good fields.
finishing up fields 3 and 4 here this fall.
Yeah, that would be
So
great.
they're working on them right now, and then all the fields will be done.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks. Anybody have anything else before we adjourn? Okay, seeing none, we stand adjourned. I tried.